not every NBA player takes the same road to the top. Some have to break in through the back door, while others are born into NBA bloodlines. From incarcerated teens to privileged golden boys, these are the real stories behind some of the NBA's biggest stars. Starting with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Born in 1994 to Nigerian immigrants living illegally in Greece, Giannis was considered stateless despite having lived in Greece his entire life. In an interview with ESPN, he said, "I used to sell things since I can remember myself, since I was 6 or 7 years old. The hustle of selling trinkets on street corners lasted till he was 17. His childhood was far from stable, but Giannis knew he was destined to be a star."
My name is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What kind of basketball player are you?
I'm an all-around player. I can jump, I can shoot, I can pass the ball. 5 years.
What is your goal for your career?
I want to be NBA player.
Watching his parents work hard, fearing they might be deported at any time, made Giannis promise his mom, "I'm going to make it big in basketball, and I'm going to make sure we have a better life." At the age of 13, Spyros Velianatis, a local basketball coach, recognized his raw talent when he spotted him chasing his brothers in an open field and took Giannis under his wing. From there, things progressed. At 16, Giannis joined Philathletikos in 2011, a second division Greek team, where he played till 2013 and averaged 46.4 in field goals, 31.3% from the three-point line with 9.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game. Giannis's remarkable progress at Philathletikos quickly drew the attention of NBA scouts. 29 of the 30 NBA franchises made the big journey to Philathletikos' small arena to assess Giannis before the 2013 draft. Finally, all his dreams came true, as on June 27, 2013, Antetokounmpo was drafted 15th overall by the Milwaukee Bucks at the age of 18. Giannis arrived in America with a lot of determination, and a few years later in 2017, he was averaging 22.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 5.4 assists per game. Soon after, he was awarded for his hard work.
2017 Kia NBA Most Improved Player is...
You wanna try it?
I'm gonna let you take that one. It's all you.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
The following year, he was named the NBA's most valuable player of the 2018-19 season at just 24 years old, making him the youngest MVP in 8 years. In the same 2018-2019 season, he became the 5th player to win the Defensive Player of the Year award, joining greats like Kevin Garnett and Michael Jordan in this rare achievement. In the following season, he delivered Milwaukee's first championship in 50 years, scoring 50 points and winning the 2021 NBA championship and the 2021 NBA MVP award. Giannis also became the 6th player in NBA Finals history to do so and unanimously won the 2021 NBA Finals MVP award. Giannis Antetokounmpo continues to ball like there's no tomorrow and is set to play for Greece at Eurobasket 2025. While Giannis built his name brick by brick and redefined what a modern superstar could be, this next player didn't just grow up near the game, he grew up courtside. Growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, Stephen Curry was the oldest son of former NBA player Del Curry. As a kid, he got a unique developmental advantage, learning professional drills early by watching and practicing with his father Del Curry, who was an NBA player for 16 years. His mom Sonia was also a former Division I volleyball star who instilled the discipline to train in young Steven. Despite being born into a sports-oriented family, his ride into the NBA definitely was not smooth sailing. As a high school sophomore, he measured 5'6" and weighed just 125 pounds. This physical limitation directly influenced his early playing style.
When I was in basketball, I was always the smallest kid on my team. I had a terrible, ugly catapult shot from the time I was 14 because I wasn't strong enough to shoot over my head, and I had to reconstruct that over a summer, and it was the worst 3 months of my life.
Steph was so frail that even his father thought there was no way his son could play college basketball. To make things worse, the university Curry wanted to attend didn't offer him a spot, a decision Duke University would come to regret, because once Steph was done with college, he proved everyone who ever doubted him wrong, and was picked 7th in the first round by the Golden State Warriors in the 2009 2009 NBA Draft. By 2015, the kid who could barely throw a ball at 14 led the league in three-pointers and carried the Warriors to their first title in 40 years, earning unanimous MVP honors the following season in 2016. Steph Curry has gone on to sack 4 championships, 2 MVP trophies, a Finals MVP, and a spot on the NBA's 75th anniversary team. Curry's privilege paved the way for him, while this next player had to learn basketball on Compton's toughest streets. DeMar DeRozan was born in 1989 in Compton, California, in a neighborhood marked by poverty and violence. The violence was so common, it was hard to keep track.
I dealt with so much death at an early age. My best friend was, when he was supposed to be with me. I remember one year my mama went to 10 funerals in 1 year. So before I was 18, I normalized death. The pressures of outside growing up in Compton was an issue. I went to school with Crips, Bloods. I went to school with...
Daily life was dangerous for DeMar, but his mother had one rule.
Whatever you do when you walk out this door, make sure you walk back through this door. It was always walking back in the house like, all right, cool. Gotta do the same tomorrow.
And he listened, finding an escape from the harsh times in basketball. He played for Compton High School and was ranked as one of the top college recruits in the nation. He averaged 29.2 points and 7.9 rebounds as a senior and led Compton High School to a 26-6 record. In November 2007, DeRozan signed a letter of intent to play basketball at USC. In his first season there, DeRozan averaged 13.9 points and 5.7 rebounds in 35 starts, and won the Trojans their first Pac-10 tournament. After just 1 year in college, DeRozan decided he was good enough for the big leagues. On April 8th, 2009, DeRozan announced he would enter the 2009 NBA Draft, and on June 2009, he was selected 9th overall by the Toronto Raptors. And in 2021, DeRozan signed an $82 million deal with the Chicago Bulls, making him one of the highest paid members on the team, and things only went up from there. This deal and a prior 5-year $139 million deal with the Toronto Raptors practically set him up for life. As of 2025, DeMar is worth a whopping $80 million and plays for the Sacramento Kings. DeMar DeRozan worked extra hard to build his legacy, but this next privileged player had an easy head start. Born August 1st, 1992, in Santa Monica, California, Austin grew up around pro basketball. His father, Doc Rivers, was not only an NBA All-Star player in 1988, but later achieved significant success as an NBA championship-winning head coach, earning recognition as one of the top 15 coaches of all time in 2022. This gave him insider access to training and ball knowledge, and it came as no surprise when Austin proved himself on the court. At Winter Park High School, he led his team to back-to-back state titles in 2010 through 2011. At 18, he was named a McDonald's All-American and led the USA to a gold medal at the 2010 FIBA America's U18 Championship. He was also named 2011 Mr. Florida Basketball and Naismith Prep Player of the Year, joining the likes of Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. Following his amazing high school career, Rivers committed to Duke University in the 2011-12 season, where he averaged 15.5 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 2.1 assists as a freshman. After 1 year, he was done with school and entered the 2012 NBA Draft. He was drafted 10th overall by the New Orleans Hornets, now the Pelicans. However, Austin's career did not begin the way he hoped it would. Starting 9 of his first 10 games for the New Orleans Hornets, he averaged only 7 points, 2.9 assists, 2 rebounds, and 0.8 steals in 28 minutes of play. Going into his third season, Austin was traded to the Boston Celtics, and by January 2015, he joined his father and the LA Clippers, making them the first father-son team in NBA history. This move, however, came with a lot of drama and allegations of nepotism. The team felt Austin acted entitled because his dad was both the coach and the president of basketball operations. Players felt Doc treated Austin more favorably than the other players. He would yell at guys for certain things during games and practices, but not get on Austin in the same manner for similar transgressions. But Austin didn't let that stop him. His performance in the 2016 to 2017 season was at its peak. During a game against the Portland Trail Blazers, Austin was mistakenly knocked in the eye, but he did not let it keep him down, playing essentially blind in one eye and with considerable amounts of pain, Austin finished the game with 21 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds. This move earned him the respect and admiration of every individual associated with the game of basketball. He continued to be a great player, but as of 2024, Austin Rivers has transitioned from professional player to sports analyst. In the 23-24 season, he joined his father as a studio analyst for ESPN. Austin's father opened the door, but he had to struggle to get through it. The next player, however, clawed his way to the top all by himself. Born on July 12, 1988 on the west side of Chicago, young Patrick Beverley had all the odds stacked against him. His mother, Lisa Beverley, was 17 when he was born, and his father was absent as he struggled with drug abuse. Patrick's early life was deeply affected by periods of poverty, homelessness, and death. At an early age, he lost his only father figure he knew when Lisa's boyfriend, Dexter, got shot. As a young boy, Patrick and his mom would spend a great amount of time sleeping in motels and the backseat of his mother's car. His mom tried to keep him away from the streets.
So what I did was, like I said, I just keep him in sports, keep him in different activities so he wouldn't have time to see the streets as much as I could. I would make sure he was doing something after school until it was time to come in, and that would be the end of that, so just to make sure.
Worried that gangs would ensnare her son, Lisa moved Patrick to the suburbs. She had to work multiple jobs to afford it. That steady income allowed her to enroll Beverley at Wabaunsee Valley High School in Aurora. In 2006, Patrick committed to the University of Arkansas, where he played for the Razorbacks from 2006 to 2008. As a freshman, he put up 14 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 1.7 steals per game, earning SEC Freshman of the Year honors. Strangely enough, Patrick's professional career took off abroad. At age 20, he signed with BC Dnipro and Ukraine in the 2008-09 season for just over 6 figures, after which he went on to play for Olympiacos Piraeus in 2009 and Russia's Spartak St. Petersburg in 2011. His NBA career did not start until January of 2013, when he signed a 3-year deal with the Houston Rockets. For over 4.5 seasons, he was known for his relentless on-ball defense. He made the NBA All-Defensive Second Team in 2014 and First Team in 2017. When asked about his humble beginnings in an interview, Patrick had this to say: "Coming from where I come from, you don't have the luxury of having a trust fund or money from generations. It's either hoop or you sell dope." Beverley's last play in the NBA was during the 2023-24 season. He has since returned to his roots and announced a new contract overseas, but he still hints at a comeback once in a while. Despite his circumstances, Patrick's tenacity and determination helped him achieve his dream. While this next player had the foundation set for him, but it was met with unfulfilled expectations. Born in LA, Klay Thompson was raised in a world most players could only dream of. He had deep athletic roots, his mother Julie played volleyball in college, and his father Michael Thompson wasn't just an NBA veteran. He was the #1 overall pick in 1978 and a 2-time champion with the Lakers. When Klay was 2, his family moved to Lake Oswego, Oregon. There he was friends with and played Little League with future NBA star Kevin Love. At the age of 14, his family moved to Ladera Ranch, California, where he attended Santa Margarita Catholic High School and led their basketball team to a 30-5 record and a state championship game. Soon after, he was named Division III State Player of the Year. Thompson began his college career as a freshman at Washington State University. He made an immediate impact as a freshman in his first year. Thompson started all 33 games, leading his team in three-point goal percentage and free throw percentage, averaging 12.5 points per game. On the 18th of January in 2020, Washington State retired Thompson's #1 jersey. He was only the second men's basketball player in the school's history to receive that honor. It didn't exactly surprise many people when, in 2011, Golden State selected Klay Thompson with the 11th overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft. He arrived as a quiet shooting guard with a textbook jumper, and when paired with Steph Curry, he became one half of the Splash Brothers. As their coach called them, the best shooting duo in NBA history. In October of 2014, Klay Thompson signed a new deal with the Warriors worth a whopping $70 million. The next day, he dropped a career-high 41 points on the Lakers, but that was just a warm-up. 3 months later, on January 23, 2015, Thompson went beast mode against the Kings. He exploded for 52 points, with 37 of them coming in a single quarter. That quarter is still the most points points ever scored in 12 NBA minutes. He hit 13 shots in a row, and 9 of them were threes. It looked like a scene right out of a video game. From 2015 to 2016, Thompson had a great run, but soon after, the injuries came. First, it was a torn ACL in Game 6 of the 2019 Finals against the Toronto Raptors. Then, while rehabbing, he tore his Achilles. As a result of these injuries, Thomas missed the entire 2019 to 20 NBA season, and also missed the entire 2020 to 2021 Golden State Warriors season. For a lot of players, that's the end of the road, but not for Thompson. On the 2nd of January in 2023, he scored a season-high 54 points in a double overtime win, and joined Stephen Curry and James Harden as the only player to make 300 three-pointers in a season. In 2024, things changed. After 13 unforgettable seasons, Klay Thompson parted ways with Golden State and signed with the Dallas Mavericks, starting a new chapter in his legendary career. Thompson was privileged enough to have the support and access needed to succeed, but the next player did not have the same safety net. Born on September 29, 1988 in Washington, D.C., Kevin Durant was raised by his single mom, Wanda Durant, and his grandma, Barbara Davis, on the eastern outskirts of Washington, D.C. Durant's father abandoned his family when he was still an infant, leaving them to care for him. It wasn't easy, but those hard times kick-started Durant's involvement in basketball. At 11 years old, he played for a youth team in Prince George's County, Maryland, known as the PG Jaguars. By the end of his high school career, he was consistently regarded as the second best high school prospect in the class of 2006. His exceptional performances caught the attention of college recruiters, and soon he received offers from various Division I colleges, ultimately signing with the University of Texas Longhorns. He only played one season at Texas, but he lit it up with 25.8 points and 11.1 rebounds a game. In 2007, 19-year-old Kevin Durant was selected as the second overall pick in the 2007 NBA draft by the Seattle Supersonics. He quickly showed his talent, averaging 20.3 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game as a rookie, and won Rookie of the Year. In 2008, the Supersonics relocated to Oklahoma City and were reborn as the Oklahoma City Thunder. Durant transformed the team into a strong contender. In 2014, he won MVP, took them to the finals, and nearly beat the Warriors in the 2016 playoffs. But just weeks after losing to them, he surprised everyone by leaving OKC to join the Warriors. He wanted to play amongst the top ballers and prove he could fit into a team that already had superstars. In an interview, he said, "I was tired of having to be the only guy that can make threes, make jump shots, and consistently make them." As of 2025, he remains an elite player and is set to join the Rockets. Kevin Durant made sure he earned his spot at the top. Lonzo Ball, however, had his spot ready and waiting. Lonzo grew up in Chino Hills, California, in a basketball household run by his ambitious father, LeVar Ball. LeVar and his wife, Tina Ball, both played college basketball, and his dream was for all his sons to be basketball stars. Because of his dream, LeVar coached his 3 sons until they entered high school. Lonzo was the eldest and the first to fulfill his father's dream. His dad hyped him up constantly.
Are you saying Lonzo better than LeBron? Yes. Bossy.
You lost me on that.
Hey, I'll lose you again.
And even launched a shoe company called Big Baller Brand before Lonzo had played a single NBA game. That hype worked. It made Lonzo one of the most talked about prospects in years. But it also meant he had to live up to unrealistic expectations before he stepped on an NBA court. Lonzo played basketball at Chino Hills High School in Chino Hills, California. In his junior year from 2014 to 2015, he averaged 24.3 points, 11.3 rebounds, and 9.1 assists per game. In November 2015, he decided to play for the UCLA Bruins, and during his time there, he led the country in assists and helped turn the school into a powerhouse again. When it was time to move on to the big leagues, the Lakers selected Lonzo Ball as the second overall pick in the 2017 draft. The hype was real. Even Magic Johnson called him the new face of the franchise. But then the injuries started coming, and they never really stopped. On July 6th, 2019, the Lakers traded him to the Pelicans in a deal for Anthony Davis. In New Orleans, Lonzo's game changed. He became more of a three-point shooter and solid defender. He improved his shot, hit close to 37.8% from deep, and had a career-high 14.6 points per game. But he didn't quite become the star people expected. In 2021, he suffered another injury. It was so bad that he ended up needing a rare cartilage transplant surgery, something no NBA player has ever successfully returned from. Doctors weren't sure sure if he'd ever walk normally, let alone play again. Now in 2025, Lonzo is still with the Cleveland Cavaliers. His role is smaller, more of a backup point guard, but he's still pushing through rehab and trying to get back on the court. Lonzo Ball couldn't live up to expectations, unlike Allen Iverson, who surpassed every expectation despite his humble beginnings. He was born and raised in Hampton, Virginia by his single 15-year-old mother, Ann Iverson. At Bethel High School, he excelled in both basketball and football, winning state championships in each sport and earning the Associated Press High School Player of the Year award. But then something happened that almost ruined his young career. In 1993, 18-year-old Allen was convicted in July of 3 felony counts of maiming by mob and ended up spending 4 months in prison. Despite this turn of events, Allen's talent and killer crossover still earned him a Georgetown scholarship and kickstarted his NBA career. In just 2 seasons, Iverson exploded onto the college scene, averaging over 23 points per game, 4.6 assists per game, 3.6 rebounds per game, and 3.2 steals. As just a sophomore, after his second year, Iverson decided to enter the 1996 NBA draft, and the 76ers made him their first overall pick. Fondly called the answer, Iverson transformed the Philadelphia team's bad track record, averaging 23.5 points, 7.5 assists, and 2.1 steals per game. In 2001, Iverson captured the NBA MVP award, after leading the league in scoring with 31.1 points per game, and carrying a 56-win Sixers team into the NBA Finals. Over his career, Iverson won 4 scoring titles, made 11 All-Star teams, and was selected to the All-NBA First Team 3 times. He never won a championship, but his impact went far beyond statistics. He brought a new style and street-inspired fashion into the NBA. One fan said, "I'm white and I wore knee-high socks with my basketball shorts when I was a kid because of Allen." After a decade in Philadelphia, Iverson had shorter stints with Denver, Detroit, Memphis, and even a return to the Sixers. And in 2013, he officially announced his retirement. However, his $800,000 a year and $32 million trust fund deal with Reebok remains very much alive and continues to make him a truckload of generational wealth.